Hi guys, welcome to another day with Zimaleta. Right now I would like to show you how to remove a fuel filter and also basically change it. I have a brand new fuel filter right here. In case it's your first time, you might want to know what it looks like, at least what to look for. This is what it looks like. I've never seen a black one. Normally there's silver. This is straight from Mercedes, and we have like a little plastic knob and a couple little O-rings which are blue. Anyways guys, I'm gonna show you how to replace it. Less talking, more doing. Next video, right under the hood, I'm gonna show you where it's located. Now basically this is the way you're going to start doing it. You're going to approach the vehicle and you're going to start looking right past your radiator cap, past all these hoses, and there it is. Little silver looking cap right there. I'm not sure why I'm losing focus here. I guess too much stuff for it to be focused on. But basically, yeah, we're looking at the silver piece right there. That's the fuel filter. All those bolts needs to be loosened. You can see which ones I'm talking about, the ones that are flathead. You need to loosen those so you could remove the hoses. Now you will have a little bit of trouble trying to pull it out. You see that little metal hose right there? It's attached to over here. You're gonna need to loosen that bolt right there, and you're gonna need to loosen a bolt over there. Just a little bit closer. There it is. You could kind of see that bolt right there, and then just move that pipe out of the way. And sometimes the fuel filter, which is right there, it's going to have like something on the actual case in there that's going to keep it there tight. I don't keep mine tight. Basically mine's are just, you just pull them out of there. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's in its own little housing, but sometimes the housing is really super tight on them and you cannot, you know, pull it out. So you'll just have to loosen one of those housings. But anyways, let's go ahead and start removing. All right guys, let's get ready to remove the fuel filter. You're gonna need a couple basic tools, some kind of Phillips head and this type of screwdriver here. This is a number 8. It's a regular type of wrench. All right guys, first I'd like to begin by removing this bolt right here. It is located next to the oil cap right there. So this is one of the bolts that's kind of like in a way, because that metal pipe that leads down, once you actually get ready to remove your fuel filter, it's going to be kind of stuck. So now that's removed. You might be wondering what's this wire. That's actually a second negative wire I have added, and it's a perfect place for it. As you can see, this is kind of stuck on there really good right now. We got to remove one more, which is in the back over here. Okay, the second bolt is located right there. It's kind of difficult to see it probably, but that's where it is. I just usually like to get it loose, and I stick my hand down in here and just remove it by hand. Once I remove this bolt, the pipe should already be like a little bit more loose. I'll be able to bend it to the side. Okay, I have removed it. So now take a look at this. You see how this pipe is a little bit more easily moved? I could just simply stick it to the side. Now we're gonna need to remove some fuel lines. So just take a Phillips head or whatever you may have over there, because it's all gonna depend on what kind of crimps you have used. Okay, that one's loose. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on there for now. Basically, what I like to do is I like to loosen one and then another one right here, and just go ahead and pull it out with everything on there. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. But you'll guys see exactly how long it takes to really replace this. I'm not really gonna be cutting this video much. You'll actually see the amount of work that it really takes to replace it. It's not too bad. You could do this at night if you have a light shining. As long as you know what to do, where the bolts are. Okay, I have pretty much loosened this one, but it's not coming out. I'm just gonna remove this bolt completely. My crimp might fall apart, but it's okay. I'll be able to put it together later. Okay. There's another electrical connection here. Just press it in over there and just remove it. There it is. So we just have a couple of these rubber hoses. So I'm gonna try to just push it out. Right now it's a little bit stuck. So, but I got it loose. Some diesel might come out, but it's okay. And then it's time to get this one a little bit more looser. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out. I like to slide some of these crimps back a little bit to allow you the ease of removing it. Some of these hoses, they get kind of cooked down in there. So you just kind of need to do your best to try to remove them. Okay, that's now done. Okay, we are ready to pull it out now. So pretty much that one's out of the side. Just gonna take this fuel filter here, pull it up. So guys, this is the easy part. So now it's time to actually transfer this stuff to the next fuel filter. So join. Okay guys, something like a table or even like a pavement would work, but you're dealing with some diesel, so some of this diesel might come out. So what you want to do is kind of like not mess up and just see kind of like what you're working with, where you removed what pipe. So what I'm going to try to do is remove this type of hose first. Some of the stuff, they like to slip off a little bit. Okay guys, I have loosened this thing enough. I'm just gonna slide it back a little bit and just use maybe like your screwdriver, you know, to pry this hose out. Usually it's easy for me. So we pulled it out of this here, and отсюда снял. Something for you guys to notice, this is a thinner pipe than this one. This is a little bit thicker, so you really can't mess up on these things. I just wanted to kind of measure to try to see. But anyways, I'm just gonna remove some of these plastics here. This is to keep fuel from leaking out. This is the next part you gotta remove, and that's the hard part. It's removing this type of stuff here. So here's some basic tools that I have here. Just gonna need to find one that will fit it. Okay, that's too big. That's also too big. All right, that seems just right. Okay guys, so now it's time to pull this out. Okay guys, now what you want to do is you want to basically take this plastic piece. Sometimes it's easy to slide it, sometimes it's not, and swipe it in there, and you're gonna need to lift it up. And believe it or not, it's actually not easy. to lift this part up. But basically sometimes just go ahead and try to work it out of there by like rotating it in and out. But that's really the hard part, because it's plastic and it's so easy to basically break it. And last time I actually broke it. So I found looks like a good method. I stuck this screwdriver underneath and I pried it. So now it's coming out of there. I'm just gonna pry it some more. Just have to kind of be gentle. And I do recommend you change this at home. Okay. Now this is out. As you could tell it's kind of plasticky. And that's why it's kind of like a problem. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a Mercedes one over here on top. So I'm just gonna grab like some kind of pliers. I'm going to loosen this. You don't have to do that, but this Mercedes one, it came with one, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I'm just gonna put it on here tight. This is something where, you know, like if your dash has a little light when you have to like drain the fuel filter because it's got some water, so you just basically undo it and twist it over and basically drain the water out of it. So sometimes it may help, you know. But that's that right there. It does have 2 rubber rings. We will remove them. We have a brand new set that's in the kit. Sometimes like a thinner type of a screwdriver works the best. But let me see if I could make this one work. So we got one off. Now we just gotta get this one off. Okay, that one ripped. So don't want to stretch much, but I am kind of harsh when I'm removing them things. I mean, I'm not going to be doing nothing with them, so if they rip, they rip. I don't care. So now these seals, they're the same. So we're going to take one, I'm going to put it right over and put it right into place. So putting it on is the easy part. So now that's back in place. So now for the next part, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pop this open. I normally don't do this, but I will pour the diesel out of this thing right into this here. You know, so it's not gonna be dry. And for doing that, I'm gonna close one of these little caps and I'm gonna stick a cap in the middle. And first I'm gonna just remove some of that dirty stuff. So let's see how well this would work. I mean, it's a filter after all. I mean, it should filter out like any contaminants. But I don't recommend anybody really doing it like this. I just don't have any diesel on hand to really pour it in here, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay guys, to put it in, it's the same way as we pulled it out. You're going to try to put it in kind of like sideways like this. And just ease this in there. Like so. Might want to use something to help you press it inside. This one went in kind of easy, and then you just basically twist this back. And I'm just gonna try to make sure it's twisted all the way. So now it's twisted all the way. So the next step is the reverse process of removing it. We're gonna need to put the bolts back. So that one's on there. And I think these bolts, they really don't do that much. I mean, that thing is stuck on there so good. Like you've seen how easy it's to, I mean, how hard it is to remove it. So now we're gonna put this little hose back, kind of like the way it was bented, like this. And I'm gonna put this like that. And now I'm gonna start tightening it. And if some of you guys are wondering, you don't have to remove the battery cable for this. You could just disconnect it normally. It's not going to hurt anything. And you do want to make sure these crimps are on there good, because from the pressures they could actually remove. So, and if they're old and rusted, you might want to remove them. Believe me, I already had these snap on me, especially this kind here. So right now I still think they're okay, so I'm just not gonna worry about it. And also position them in a way that it's going to be easy for you to remove it next time. So now we're gonna actually stick this underneath the hood. Hey guys, this is the bolt that I removed from that one crimp. Now I gotta basically fix the crimp before I install it, because it will be easier doing it right now versus me doing it later. And actually, I'll have to pull it out, because this is actually the better type of crimps here. They hold things a little bit better. It's supposed to be pinch free, but they are kind of tight. So I just did a couple little twists. Now I gotta put it on. The crimp is on there, but it might actually give me some trouble putting it on. It is kind of tight, and I think the pipe, the rubber piece, it's basically gotten kind of old or something, and it's wider than it was before. We're just gonna twist this back into its position. As you can see, this perfectly lines up now, but we do wanna stick this on there. And just a little twist in action will help you basically put this line back on there. Okay, so now that's on there. So that's going to be the very first one that I'm gonna get tight. As you can see, guys, it's very hard to get a good angle because there's just not a lot of space here to really see anything. So I'm trying to do the best I can with giving you extra views. But the angle is the hard part here. I hope you guys will wear gloves for this job. You will get your hands full of diesel. Maybe even oil, depending on how dirty it is over here. Okay guys, I put that one hose back. Now it's the easiest part going to be for me is to actually stick this electronics back, and that seemed like it snapped in, so that's good. So now we're gonna put this hose back, and I'm gonna put the crimp back in its position. You want to kind of move it up a little bit so that it's actually going to be holding something. When I always install these crimps, I always keep in mind that I'm going to be removing it next time. So try to make sure it's going to be easy for you to reach the actual bolts, because sometimes they try to slide on you and you might tighten them up in a way that you cannot reach them again. Believe me, I've seen some like that. I don't even know how they put it on like themselves. Alright, that's on there. So now, the only thing we have left is we got left these 2 bolts here. And I'm going to try to put it back in its place. Alright guys, having to aim this thing, it is not the easiest in the world, okay? So when you're putting it on, if you can't really find the actual spot, don't worry, just keep trying. So now I'm going to put my ground back wire back. A while ago I had some starting issues by adding this ground wire from the firewall. I'll show you what it attaches. It actually helped things. So when Mercedes installed my new engine, they put it back where they found it, which was kind of cool. Because the engine is one big ground basically. Everything's grounded to the engine. So take a look guys. It is done. The fuel filter is installed, and now I want to show you where the wiring goes. See, this black wiring goes right here, and it goes over here. Okay? Basically right there. It's right connected to the firewall, this black wire. That's something I added, okay? That's the ground that goes to the firewall. So I'm sure some of you guys know, but for those that don't, I do want to point it out. So that is done. So guys, I hope you enjoyed me removing this fuel filter here and then basically installing it. Everything what you see, it's exactly how long it takes to really do it. I'm not going to be really majorly cutting it, just some bits that's going to be like unnecessary. I'm going to cut out. But guys, thanks for watching. Do subscribe and like my videos, because you will find my channel to be very helpful, because I do a lot of different how-to videos, and especially when it comes to these sprinters here. If you got a sprinter, I know how to basically work on it, because I have experience for the past 10 years driving them and basically doing my own maintenance. And this is something that's not very difficult, but I am trying to hunt down a problem right now with electrical, but it might be also fuel related. So that's just the last step for me to like figure it out that it's not the fuel filter. If it is, then it will solve the issue. But as you could tell, I have a open engine bay. Alright, as you can tell guys, my engine bay is open over here. This plastic piece has been removed. I do want to kind of show some things. This is your camshaft sensor. It is located on top, so that's really easy. I do want to point that out. And then we got the electrical connections for the fuel injectors. And right now, number 4 and number 3, they were giving me troubles. I basically resold the connections in one of my recent videos, and that seemed to help things. That same code hasn't popped up, but I did have a vehicle that cut off on me while basically at a stoplight. So hopefully it's the fuel filter. You do supposed to replace them like every 3rd oil change, which is like 10,000 miles each oil change, or you know, like every 30-40,000 miles. But sometimes I drive on them for like 80,000 miles and it seems like no problems. But in this case here, probably 30-35,000 miles I have on this fuel filter. So I think it's time to replace it, because it might be giving issues right now, because you never know. If you fuel up at some kind of gas station that's got water or bad quality diesel or like dirty, it's gonna stuff it up. And another thing guys to keep in mind, you might want to replace it sooner if you got an old vehicle like mine. This is already 1,100,000 miles on the body and the tank of this vehicle. The fuel tank might have contaminants because it's never been cleaned, at least from when I owned it. So that's another thing I want to get to, is removing the fuel tank, washing it out, cleaning it out, sticking it back, because I believe the contamination can actually make it to your fuel filter, stuff things up, and if you got not a good quality fuel filter, and even with a good quality fuel filter, it might make it past the fuel filter into your fuel injectors, causing them to be stuffed up. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hit a like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Take care. Good luck with your sprinter. Bye-bye.